I think I actually need to explain something to you, right? So I'm gonna explain it in the best way that I can. I'm gonna pull up freaking Affinity here. I'm gonna draw you a goddamn fucking image of what this actually means, okay? So, okay. Oh god, that's bright as hell. Holy shit. I am about to blind people. No, Lita, that's not necessarily an issue. Okay. So, chat, what I'm gonna do here, okay, is we are gonna go and we're gonna grab a paintbrush, okay? Actually, no, we're gonna grab some text. Now then, so we're gonna just write this out real quick. The Twitch algorithm. There, okay? You got the Twitch algorithm right there, right? I can totally freaking spell. Okay, now, do you know why I'm about to write this out here for you guys? Wow, my eyes, I'm okay. So, why not do a poll? Okay, I'm gonna explain this real quick, okay? So, let's say that to Twitch, right, it sees that you have... We're gonna give an example, okay? Example. You have an average CCV, which is your concurrent viewers, right? Which is the average viewer number that you get, right? That is your example right there, right? So now let's just say your average is 35 viewers, right? That is your CCV, okay? Twitch, however, likes consistency and it likes growth, okay? This is important for a couple of reasons, okay? Now, granted, okay, the way Twitch looks at this is it's like, okay, if yesterday's stream was 35 CCV, then basically what Twitch would want, Twitch expects today's stream to have between 30 to 40 CCV, okay? That is what Twitch's algorithm expects. And so, if Twitch sees that you have 20, let's say Twitch sees that you have between 15 to 20 CCV, right? Then Twitch will see you as potentially irrelevant. It'll see you as irrelevant, which means it won't push notifications, which means it won't give you discovery, which means no growth, and no growth means that Twitch negatively deboosts you, right? Now, there is a caveat, a change to this, right? Here's what this does mean, though. This is only relevant if you prove to Twitch that this is just an anomaly. And basically what that means for that is basically if this stream does bad, but the next stream doesn't, Twitch will ignore this stream. Right? That is what actually happens with Twitch. Now, that may seem like, yeah, they'll see it as an outside cause. That's exactly right, Sword Swipe. Also, hello there, Ninja Store. Welcome back to the pack, and I'm glad to see you here for literally 2 years. How you doing, hon? So, as far as Twitch is concerned, such as a game drop that draws viewers away, such as Monster Hunter, exactly. Because basically, with that in mind, what Twitch would then expect, right, is that if, for example, Twitch looks at CCV. Let me just like write this down real quick. What Twitch looks at, right? It looks at CCV, retention, which is how long are people staying, right? So that's like, so these are some other things. Retention, trending, but then on top of that, it also looks at engagement, right? So chat engagement and this is basically, you know, just what, like, you know, these are some of the data points that Twitch looks at, right? So, if Twitch looks at that, hello there, Dragon Life, welcome back to the pack. How's your missions been going for you, bro? So for Twitch, because of that, what that means is that if it looks at your stream, right? So, let's put this as what this means, okay? Is for Twitch, it'll look at your engagement as one of the first metrics, right? Engagement means you're relevant because it leads to greater retention, which leads to higher CCV, which means that you are benefiting Twitch, right? And yes, it does, Pink Panther, absolutely. So, that would mean that in an example, example 1, if someone is, example 1, streamer with high retention but low engagement, right? So what that means is that Twitch recommends streamer because they have high retention, right? Because high retention overrides low engagement. Right? That's just how that works. And so as a result, that high retention equals discovery. Okay? So that's what that means right there. But then let's just give example 2, okay? You have a stream with high engagement but low retention. Twitch sees that. Twitch will sees that, and what it will do, right? And then it will go and then it'll it will push the streamer in discovery because that engagement equals good viewership, right? It's weird and it's kind of, contradictory, right? Now then, here's the thing with this, right? Now let's give it an example 3. Streamer with high CCV but bad retention. Okay? In a case like that, Twitch will see you as less relevant, right? It'll see you as less relevant, and so not push you in discovery and de-boost you, right? Now, here's the thing, okay? The reason why this one right here is so important is because if you go and, think about it you go to a convention and you see a panel that has some big name. Imagine if you went to a convention and you saw that there was a Q&A with Keanu Reeves or Robert Downey Jr., right? But then imagine that panel had only 5 people and the expectation is, oh, it's Robert Downey Jr. It's Keanu Reeves. You would expect that panel to be packed. You would expect 300 people in that room? So, what does that feel like if you don't have that 300 people there? It feels weird. And so it may not seem like it was on brand. It may not seem like it's relevant, right? And that's how Twitch's algorithm looks at this stuff. Is that if you're a streamer, but there's not any retention, and I should also put in no and low engagement, as a result, Twitch will literally look at that and be like, oh, well, fuck you, you're not relevant, we're not gonna do shit for you, right? That's what ends up happening, okay? So then you have to take into account, right? Now we're about to take into account something like this, okay? Are you ready for what we're about to take into account? Okay, are you ready for this, chat? Are you ready for this? Oh my god. Okay, so here's how we're gonna do... God, this is long. So, this is how we're gonna do this. So let's take a real example, okay? Yeah, it is absolutely a pain in the ass, Cyber. So here's a real example. Yoru wants to stream. So we're gonna outline this, okay? So we're gonna take Yoru wants to stream Yakuza like a pirate.
Yoru, we got imposters in the house. Time to show them who runs this joint. Let's hack their signal.
God damn it. Welcome. Welcome, Raiders of the Okami Brigade. The name's YoruVexa, leader of the pack and breaker of limits. Thank you for the raid, Impa. What missions were you on before you landed here? I'm gonna guess you were probably playing Monster Hunter. If so, how was it going? I'm currently describing how Twitch algorithm works. Okay? I know this sounds like a really weird thing to come into after playing something like Monster Hunter. But how you doing, though, Impa? And if you have to, by the way, how goes it? It's going well. I'm just kind of chilling. I updated my model and everything with collisions and everything, so it's got a lot of cool ass shit going on it. Yes, Twitch algorithm. I literally just explained 2 different things. I'm kind of trying to keep it simple, not to overwhelm people. But yeah, if you have to go, raid and dash, get yourself some food and water, that's okay. I'll make sure to take care of your community. But yeah, we're talking about right now, what I'm talking about here is I'm gonna give a real world example with myself, because today was supposed to be Yakuza, and considering the fact that it's Monster Hunter Rise's release and everything, probably not the best idea, and I'm about to get into why that's not the best idea, right? So, if you want to learn a little bit about how Twitch works, I've got a 470-page document on this shit, and I'm basically condensing it down and dumbing it down into words that actually make sense to people. That's not like a freaking, PhD paper. Anyway, so, back to this. So, if I have... Oh my god, I need to poke me with the... Yes, you do, Impa! Yes, you freaking do! I was working on this model for the past week, and it has so many goddamn toggles on it. Alright, so... today's stream was supposed to be Yakuza Like a Pirate. We're pivoting into just chatting right now, right? So, Yoru wants to stream like a pirate. Monster Hunter Wilds released today. And then we can take MHW, which I'm going to put this into parentheses here, right? MHW is dominating Twitch. Now then, are you ready for this? You guys ready for this? Okay. So, then on top of that, we're also going to take into another account here, right? So now, we're going to say that Yoru has a community that does like MHW and is most likely playing MHW right now. Okay? So, with this kind of information, I have to ask you, chat, what do you think? What do you guys think, chat, is the outcome based on the algorithm alone? What do you think the outcome would be based on this information? Like, what does your gut tell you? I don't know, Lena, is it actually going to be answering the question or not? Saying it says lower viewers for Yoru. That Twitch is stupid. It's a stupid streaming site. Oh my god, I love you. Nano, I love you for that. I absolutely fucking love you for that. Holy shit. Yes. So, here's the thing. The outcome, right? The outcome is that Yoru will potentially have a lower CCV, which Twitch exactly mid. Exactly. So basically, which Twitch looks at as... Right? So, basically, Yoru will potentially have lower CCV, which Twitch looks at it as being less relevant, right? Because of that, Yoru will then potentially be deprioritized, right? If it happens 2 days in a row. And, hang on. Deprioritized 2 days in a row, assuming that this trend continues, right? So that's basically what's gonna happen. And so Yoru has to ask a question. Is it better to stream Yakuza, pivot into just chatting, or try MHW, right? And here's the thing. What we know is that Yakuza is niche. Yakuza is niche. MHW is trending and on an interest for people in Yoru's community. MHW is not exactly Yoru's cup of tea, but is willing to try it, right? Just chatting is and always will be a trending category. So Yakuza's niche, not really trending, right? And so the outcome for this, basically, Yakuza will be too much of a risk to stream, given the context of what is currently happening on Twitch. So Yoru is left with 3 options, which is 1. God, I need to really shrink this down. That is true, Mid. That is true, and I'm actually going to address that. You're absolutely right. So 1 is do just chatting. 2, try Monster Hunter Wilds. 3, end stream earlier than normal to avoid risking Twitch deboost, right? Those are basically the 3 options. Technically, there's a 4th option of do Yakuza and risk Twitch deboost further, which extends the time to recover, right? That's basically where a problem comes in, right? Those are the 4 options, and I'm... Actually, Lina, it technically would not wreck the consistency stuff. There's a reason for that, but no, you're right. You're absolutely right, okay? Because I want to address what Mid is bringing up about going with the trend doesn't always bring in followers. And you're absolutely right. And the reason I'm going to bring that up real quick, because you brought that up, and I'm glad you brought that up.
Welcome to the madness. Buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride.
Exactly, Chishiki. Welcome to the pack, Mid. I hope you find the missions in the madness you're looking for. So, here's the thing. If the trend is not on brand, that is not what your audience expects from you, then the trend will do more harm than good, right? And an example, right? I'm gonna give an example here. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right? Here's what we know about the game. It's story-driven. It's very linear. Can be a grind. Little room for agency. Meaning that there is not much evolution of game mechanics over the playthrough, right? And so with that, you can also say the open world aspects of the game as well can drag on with not much to do in it, right? And so, given this kind of information, FF7 Rebirth would not be on brand or expected for Yoru to play on stream, because Yoru's personality clashes with the game's personality, right? And so when I actually went to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth last year around this time, what ended up happening is it actually hurt. Not many people showed up. We had lower viewership than normal. And the reason that happened is, you know, people mentioned like they didn't want spoilers or something else. But the actual trend is that I did see some people actually watching other streamers play it. But the real thing that was going on is that it's not exactly on brand for me to play it, right? It's not exactly a game that people would expect, because I'm chaotic, I'm energetic, I explain things, I'm blunt, I tell you how it is. And so playing something like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth just didn't work out very well. This is why games that won't work would be stuff like Animal Crossing. It's why games like Minecraft don't work. It's why Persona won't work. It's why, like, you know, it's why something like GTA 5 won't work, right? But this is why games that do work, right, are games like Watch Dogs 2, like Stellar Blade, like Lies of P, right? Or I'll even add on one last one, Cyberpunk 2077. Okay? Have they not worked, or do you think they won't work? So, okay. Let me put it like this, Victor. And for those of you over on Twitch, if you're wondering who I'm responding to someone on the YouTube side. So, here's the thing. I have not personally tried any of the games that you see there on games that won't work on stream, right? And the thing is, I know for a fact Persona won't work, because if I'm sitting there having to read a lot of text, I'm not going to be very interested. I'm going to be kind of bored out of my mind, right? And that's just because if I try to play something like Persona, while I may enjoy it personally, it's not something that I can keep my energy going, my energetic ass going with, because I'm going to just start spamming the X button, trying to get through things with as little grinding as possible, and that's going to bite me in the ass at some point. It's the same thing with Minecraft. It's a sandbox game in its truest sense. I don't even know what to fucking do in Minecraft. I know how to craft things, but I don't know. I can't make it interesting because it's just not something I enjoy. It was the same thing with GTA 5. I found it kind of empty and boring, so I didn't really enjoy GTA 5. I like the online multiplayer racing stuff. And then, of course, with Animal Crossing, I know for a damn fact that won't work, because I literally do all of the tasks that are required of you to keep and maintain your island for like in 15 minutes. What am I supposed to do for like another 4 hours if I play Animal Crossing, right? There's nothing for me to do in Animal Crossing to make it interesting. And if it's gonna be like, you know, Animal Crossing at that point just turns into a glorified just chatting, I would rather just do just chatting. I'd rather sit there and just chat with you guys than sit there trying to play a game and focus on that and get bored, you know? Your brother would go fishing for 4 hours at Animal Crossing most days, you know? And you know what? Hey, if you enjoy doing that, that's cool. That's so cool. Lena, my brain don't do the stimmy thing, okay? I don't really stim. Here's the thing, right? Me and stimming just don't really work together. I'm not good at stimming. Literally, my manager can tell you that me and stimming sucks. This is why I can't do grinding games like Warframe. Exactly, Warframe's another thing. I tried Warframe in one of my community nights. I got bored out of my fucking mind. Chat, what did you just join into, Azel? You joined into me explaining the Twitch algorithm and how it affects things, right? But Midship, if you're still there, would you agree with me about that whole thing? Did I answer your question satisfactorily about, or your comment about the whole thing if a trend's not on brand, right? Because I could go to Twitch all day long. I could scroll through a bunch of shit. That's most games, though. I mean, it can be most games could be grindy. It depends, though. It depends on if a game is grindy or not, right? But the main point with this, right? Yep, crystal clear point, hell yeah. And that's the thing with why it's so important when you're working with these different pieces of options. I chose dual blades, Victor. But that's the thing, is that's why this matters so much, because there is a difference in variety of grinding. Because, like, in a game, like, I don't freaking know, if I sit there, chat, and I decide to, I don't know, play a game like, let's say I play Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring does have grind elements, right? Elden Ring is also open world. Elden Ring has sandbox-like elements to it, right? Now, what's so weird about this? You would think that Elden Ring...
True Bethesda experience. Break it, then blame the
wouldn't
bug. Classic move.
Work for Yoru, right? He goes, no results, fair enough. You would think that Elden Ring wouldn't work for Yoru, right? You would be wrong, right? You would be absolutely wrong on this. I'm glad you love it, Tails.
No.
Yes, AI limit next month at the end of the month. And I am so excited for that. But yeah, like, you would absolutely be dead ass fucking wrong with that whole thing. And you know what? You would be wrong. And here's why, right? As a baby boy, Leon, you know what? That's really cool to hear, Hazel. So here's why you would be wrong on that. It's because Elden Ring gives agency, right? And so that agency breaks down into gameplay mechanics evolving over the course of the game. And this could be, you know, as an example, things being more difficult, different attack patterns, etc., right? So that agency gives me the ability to enjoy that. And because of that, grinding is optional depending on skill level, right? And that would mean that grinding is more necessary the more your skill issue is. So you know, when you start seeing something like that, chat, when you start realizing
Skill issue.
exactly. And so if I'm sitting there and playing a game like Elden Ring, right? Elden Ring can be beaten at level 1, basically, or I guess they start you at level 5 or something like that. It can be beaten at level 5 if you have the skill, meaning no grinding is necessary. This means that Yoru can choose how much she grinds in the game to actually beat the game. God damn it, to the person who just did that, you motherfucker. Why? Fucking why did you do that? Like, I'm not mad at you for that, but really, bro? Hang on, I need to find, where is this? There. So, basically, right, chat? Right? Look, oh god. Hang on, so basically, what that means is when I play a game like Elden Ring, right? That means that I have agency to choose how I play the game. Crash out over video games and Souls games do that to people. I mean, that can. It depends on how you play it. That's why I don't really replay them too much. But basically what that means is that I can choose how much I grind in the game to actually beat the game. And so, grinding, this means grinding doesn't feel like grinding. And as a result, the gameplay loop feels a lot better. But this is not true. You know, a counter example to this is, like Lena just brought up, Sekiro, right? Sekiro doesn't change much over the course of the game. It just gets harder, right? That's all that happens with Sekiro. And so as a result, the result is not a fun experience for Yoru, right? And if it's not fun for Yoru, is it really going to be fun for her community? And let me ask you this, chat. Let me ask you, if you come to a stream and you see that someone's not having fun, are you having fun? Do you want to stick around if someone's not having fun, chat? You would leave, yeah. Exactly, Sadie. You would probably leave. And the reason, right? If I've ever touched Remnant, I have Remnant 2. I haven't touched it much yet, honestly. And the thing is, right? Is that if the community doesn't have fun, the community leaves. If the community leaves, then retention lowers. If retention lowers, right? If retention lowers, then engagement lowers. And then if engagement lowers, that means CCV possibly lowers. And if all of this happens, then Twitch deboosts, which means deprioritization, which means no discovery, right? That's basically what ends up happening, right? And so what that means with Twitch's algorithm is that you are entirely reliant on your own community's support when Twitch doesn't recommend you, and it is doubly so if you're not rated, right? And so as a result, right, chat? As a result, it's a new trend. Souls like that could be interesting, but no point if you're not motivated. Exactly. And so as a result, if you're entirely relying on your own community support, right? And if Twitch doesn't recommend you, and it's doubly so if you're not rated, right? What this means. So let's give a real scenario to help explain this, right, chat? Are you ready for the real scenario here? So let's say you have a community who is into a game and wants to play it, right? The streamer may or may not play the game, but is currently live, right? And so with that right there, you got two different things right there, right? And wants to play it. Okay, so now that we know that, right? You have to ask yourself with these two scenarios. The first question one is, will the community show up to the stream? Or will the community play the game instead? That's the first question. The second question is, if the community doesn't show up, what will Twitch do? If Twitch negatively looks at this, what is the end result? How does it impact the streamer? Because the thing is, with this, if a community is interested in the game, you would, in most cases, right? In most cases, a community will show up and lurk to at least support, even if they aren't engaged, right? And so, no more Monster Hunter, oh my god. So in most cases, the community will show up and lurk to at least support, even if they aren't engaged. If the community doesn't show up, Twitch will deboost, right? If that And then if that happens, then that can make the streamer's job for making content that much more difficult, right? And that difficulty, right, is what leads to most content creators burning out, right? So, with that being said, chat, right? With that being said, because the big thing is, right, let everyone playing it, please do anything else not use streamer. Basically, right, basically what that means is that if you're trying to make a content, right, as a content creator, if you're pushing yourself really hard to do this stuff, the difficulty comes in that if you're trying to do stuff and you don't have the support, if your community doesn't support you, that actually leads to a streamer trying harder. And if they try too hard for too long, they risk burning out, and then that streamer disappears, right? Doesn't always happen. Sometimes it can be for a couple of months, etc., etc. But the whole thing is that Twitch's algorithm, all roads lead to the Twitch algorithm punishing. And here's the thing, though. What makes this even worse, right, is then you have to ask another question, chat. How do VTubers circumvent this, right? That is to say, how is it if like a VTuber takes a couple of weeks or they take a month or a hiatus, how do they circumvent it? Subathons. Trending games. Donathons. I'm not even joking, right? Like, events in general. Sunbathing day 720. Oh my god, right? But like, that's the thing. This is how VTubers / content creators. Because some IRL streamers do that, right? But here's the thing. With the way Twitch looks at you, right? This may not make sense. But the thing is, Twitch sees any kind of break and coming back in its system as you as a returning streamer, right? So what that means, Twitch doesn't consider you relevant yet. And so it won't really push you. So Twitch will take anywhere from 45 to 90 plus days before it starts pushing you and using the algorithm in your favor, right? And so, and that whole 90 plus days thing that you see there can be impacted by inconsistency, by negative trends in your data. So your CCV, retention, engagement, etc., right? And it can also be if you're on or off brand, right? So what that basically means, right, is you're probably wondering, chat, what does that mean On or off brand? What does that mean? So let's take it like, let's put it like this, right? If you are a retro streamer, right? If you're a retro streamer, Twitch will boost you when you play retro games, right? And so Twitch looks at that and will treat it as that. And so if you go against that definition, Twitch deboosts you because it considers you off brand. And that's kind of a sucky thing when you really think about it, right, chat? That basically, what that means is that Twitch will deboost you if you go off brand. Because if your brand is built around retro games, why would you play a game that's not retro, right? And this is kind of why, you know, you'll hear people say you should niche down and you shouldn't try to do variety and so on and yada, 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 you know? And that's basically, that's an obnoxious part of content creation, right? And so, for example, if you decide to be an action gamer, right? If you decide to be an action gamer, that can lead to a lot of games and variety, right? But there is limitations. And that's where the niche comes in. This is where niche comes into play, right? Do you guys know what a niche is, chat? I need chat. Do you guys know what a niche is? Or shall I define what a niche is? I see PMK sitting here. Yeah, okay, you know what a niche is, Egos? A specialty, yeah. So, this is where a niche comes into play. So, a niche, just so you guys know what a niche is basically a specialty or a category that's specific, right? So, while you can have action game, for example, action game could be, you know, you could have your Souls-like, you could have your ARPGs, you could have action adventure, you could have hack and slash, you could have run and gun, right? Touches the camera while a spider crawls across his face, right? Yeah, exactly, basically. So, action games. These are different niches, right? And so, if you are... That's why you have some people are Souls-like players and don't really venture outside of that. Is yapping considered a niche? It can be, Egos, especially if you're good at it, right? And so what that actually means right here, right, is that if people are Souls-like players and they don't really venture outside that niche, that means when they do, right, when they do, it actually hurts. Now, what's an what is a relevant example for all of this, right? Because you're probably wondering, how do you have a good example of this? Let's take ASMR streamers. are a perfect example, right? Hello there, Luca. Welcome back to the pack. How's the missions going? So yeah, ASMR streamers are a perfect example. When, like, they will sit there, they can stream ASMR and get, like, 300 to 600 to 900, you know, viewers, right? For a stream. Per stream. But then, if they decide, you know what, I feel like playing. If they decide to play Elden Ring, for example, they get 15, 30, maybe, you know, 60 or even, you know, 90 CCV, right? Per stream. Now, the reason that this happens is because people come for the content, the niche, right? Not the other stuff. And so the result, building up two different, and I need to like put this in caps, different communities, okay? This is exactly what happens. Because they're gonna have an ASMR community, and then they're gonna have, like, you know, their general gaming community, whatever they're going with, right? And that creates a problem, because that looks like a wild fluctuation. And so, the only reason they continue to succeed on Twitch is because their ASMR streams override the other stuff, because the other stuff is seen as anomalies. And so they don't count. And so as a result, that means for an ASMR streamer, they get away with, like, you know, kind of fucking around with the algorithm because their retention is up. Their CCV is up. It's consistent. The engagement they get is consistent. And so every time they do something that isn't ASMR, it's just seen as an anomaly. It's not seen as something worth paying attention to Twitch's eyes. And that's what causes this to be kind of a big-ish issue. Because this means that no one's gonna give two shits. At least in Twitch's algorithm, it doesn't give two shits about that stuff. That's why, you know, that's why there's one thing that is king above all else when it comes to content creation, right? Not exactly a synonym for clicker group, Oliver. It could kind of be like that. I mean, I guess if you want to put like a group of games for like the whole thing with niche, but yeah. But basically what this means is the one thing that's king when it comes to content creation, and this is something that IRL streamers do more than VTubers do, right? Now, what do you think that one thing is, chat? What do you think would be one thing that IRL content creators, right, do more than VTubers and is king? What do you think that it is that they actually do? Because I've been doing a lot of research into this, like learning the differences between IRL and VTubers, and I actually had a discussion with my mods about this, and my mods have the answer already. My mods know what the answer is. But the one thing that IRL content creators do more than VTubers, and is legitimately such an important thing, right? Personality over content, right? Personality over content is king, okay? So let me ask you something, chat, right? There was someone that brought up Asmongold in chat, right? And I think this is actually, yeah, Egos, you brought up Asmongold, right? So I want to ask you real quick, okay? If you think about Asmongold, do you know Asmongold for their content, or do you know Asmongold for their personality, right? Like, let me ask you that real quick. And for those of you in chat that do know who Asmongold is, would you say that you know Asmongold for personality, or do you know him for his content? Do you think of Asmongold and think, oh yeah, he plays this game, or he talks about this stuff? Or do you think, oh man, this guy has a cool ass personality? Like, what is more memorable to you about Asmongold? Personality saying it? Anyone else? Bueller. Anyone else? Personality, exactly, Victor. That's basically the thing, right? Is that personality, you don't know them, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Absolutely valid, right? But basically, for those of you who don't know Asmongold, I'm trying to think of a good way to describe it. Would it be, like... Chat, would it be a good idea for me to just give you guys, like, a clip of Asmongold? I think I should give you guys a clip of Asmongold real quick. Like, I actually think that a clip of Asmongold might actually be more useful. So Asmongold clips, okay? So we're gonna take this one right here.
What's this?
This video from Doug Miller.
Damn.
You can see the driver in the blue car slam on her brakes, get out, and start yelling on Hathaway in East Toledo.
Get out! Get out! I didn't touch your car, you dumb. You were on my gun. Come and touch me, because my man's right there. Come and put your hand down.
This was Saturday morning. Then the passenger in the red car gets out. He walks
They should have gave her this smiley face thing.
up to the woman and eventually turns away. That's when she hits him. He turns around and slams her onto the ground.
Good.
He gets back inside and the red car pulls off.
Keep your fucking hands to yourself, bitch. What the fuck is wrong with you? Sitting around hitting somebody in the face. He's trying to walk away. He's trying to de-escalate. You do not need to touch anybody. There is almost never a situation where physical interaction is needed, unless it is a result of physical interaction. This woman was hitting him in the face and he incapacitated her. Thank God. I hate people like that.
So, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right, chat? That Asmongold, you look at that and you immediately think personality, right? That is exactly what you saw there. You were seeing personality. You were seeing him just be real and raw and unfiltered with you, right? Now, I don't have to show you guys VTubers for you to realize that VTubers are very sterile, very clinical and clean and conflict adverse. There's like almost like a face going on there or something that kind of makes things, you know, difficult to deal with, right? And that's just because, you know, Sonic Win, welcome back to the pack. How's your missions been? I miss you too. I'm so glad for the support for 50 votes. How you been? But yeah, no, legitimately, yeah, Sonic, by the way, we're talking about the Twitch algorithm at the moment. How does he get his personality out there? Are you going to review stuff? Okay, so here's the thing. Part of getting your personality out there, doing insane stuff like Germa and Kai, not exactly. And that's the, you see, that's the thing, okay? That's the thing, right? Is that you bring up a good point there, E-Ghost, right? Is that for people like Kai Cenat, okay? People like Kai Cenat, like, you know, Asmongold, like Germa and everything, what that actually means is that when they do stuff, they're, hang on, let me just type this out for you guys. Personality is driven by charisma. Charisma, right? Charisma is what attracts people to you, right? On an iPad after she hired 2 fake baseball teams, oh my god. So basically, right? Charisma is what attracts people to you, okay? And so, Asmongold has that Riz. That Riz is driven by personality. And that personality brings people in, which means he gets around. And you know, also look at when you're such a good boy. Now, you want to hear something stupid, chat? You want to hear something really stupid? VTuber's personality. Can you guess, chat? Can you guess? You know, let me get up close and personal. What do you guys think? What do you chat? Chat? I have to ask you. What do you guys think VTuber's personality is? What do you think the majority of VTuber's personalities are? No, Satan, that is wrong. That is not their personality. That is not VTuber's personality. Of Teddy! Like, because if you realistically think about it, okay? With a VTuber's personality, so many base their they basically base their content around the size of their booba, right? Because, and here's the thing, here's the logic, right? Booba, you know, you have male audience, which equals sexual attraction. And then booba, right? So then we got booba equals sexual attraction. So therefore, booba equals audience. And what that means is audience equals growth. And growth equals success. And so success equals big booba. Like this right here, okay? Hang on. Hang on, I gotta, you know. Am I wrong, chat? Am I actually wrong about this? Because basically, booba equals personality, which equals audience, which equals success. You know, personality can be bland, can be generic, can be boring, but as long as there is boing boing, there is a chance for success. Like, legitimately, this happens so often. And because of that, like, I don't know how many of you guys actually, like, scroll through and look at Twitter, but how many of those posts on Twitter have you guys actually seen, for example, that just sits there, and all that you see is it's like some post about a VTuber doing something with their big-ass titties and nothing else, right? Because that's all that it seems like, you know? It just seems like, you know, people are so worried about making everything... Yeah, too many. Exactly, Nano. Do you guys really want to respond to that? Like... Animals, retro gun, military. You know what? That's fair, Egos. That's absolutely fair. And that's the thing, is I would rather interact with stuff that actually makes me want to interact. Like, again, that clip that we pulled up right here of Asmongold reacting to this, I would absolutely want to react to that. I would want to go into the comments and type something up about my thoughts on that, you know? Because it actually evokes a conversation. And that's a big thing here, right? Is conversation, engagement. What do people actually want when they're watching a content creator? And if you lean more towards the IRL side of things, people are gonna want to like, you know, pay attention. They're gonna want to react to what you're saying. They want to talk. They want to engage. But with VTubers, you see a lot of, like, you know, lurking with their chats. You see a lot of, like, very passive audiences, right? Hi there, John Twitch. We're talking about the Twitch algorithm and how that works and stuff. Yeah, they want to hear Asmon's opinion on whatever topic they're talking about, right? But if you just go and watch random VTuber A, 9 times out of 10, you're probably watching more for the content. You're probably watching more, like, you're not watching for, you know, the personality. Like, there's a reason why I sit there and I'm like, I have, like, moments where I'm like, hey, guys, let's play Genshin. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna pull a 5-star. It's gonna go good. And I'm gonna do great. We're gonna grind our asses off. Like, that's not really interesting, right? Because, like, let me ask this chat. Never do that again. So, let me ask you this, chat. How many of you guys, right, would you rather be in a stream to hear someone's opinion? Or would you rather be there just to watch the game? Like, what's more important to you? The actual thing that the person's doing in the stream? Or is it the actual, their thoughts, the things that they're doing, what they have to say about what they're doing? Because I think this is a very, very important question. Because at the end of the day, right? Would rather have the streamer get a very deep debate about the type of meat to put on for you? Obviously, you can put whatever meat you want to put into it, but clearly chicken is the correct way to go about it, you know? But yeah, it's like, do you watch the stream for the streamer's thoughts? Do you watch the stream for the content? That's the real question. Also, shrimp and salmon. I mean, you know what? Sausage and shrimp is also really good. I prefer chicken, but also, you know, sometimes I'll mix sausage and shrimp in it. It's really good, you know? Salmon is also really good. Can you watch for both? Yes, that is true. That is absolutely true, Lagoon. You can watch for both. Love. Glad to see you back, Jared. How you doing? I'm glad you like the new outfit. So, and later for the personality. Exactly. You know, because the thing is, right? The thing is that the game is the foot in the door. So if the game is the foot in the door, right? The personality is why you stay, right? Because, like, if you were to, like, go, for example, and look at what Asmongold does, right? Like, if I were to go to, I don't know, go to Twitch, Tracker, right? And then type in Asmongold. More of these presentations on things that people hyperfixate on, please? Of course. So, like, here's the thing. I'm going to pull up Asmongold here. The reason I'm pulling this up, right, is if you actually look at the stuff he does, okay? He plays a lot of World of Warcraft, right? The thing is maybe you're interested in World of Warcraft. That's what gets you in the door. But you stay for the personality. The real question, chat, the real question that you have to ask yourself after, you know, with both of these things is, like, if you watch for both, right? Let's say if you watch for both, what happens if the content isn't up your alley, but the streamer's personality is? Do you skip out? Do you skip out on the stream? Do you show up? What is the more important factor, right? And the reason that this is actually really important, you know, I wouldn't play, I just say I watch streamers stream games I wouldn't play or don't even like, but I stick around with them and hang around because there could be hearing other people. Exactly. And that's the thing, is, like, you know, you sit there, right? If you watch for both, some people, if the content isn't up your alley, some people will show up because, you know, they like the personality and they just want to hear what the person has to say. Other people probably won't show up because the content can be a make or break thing, right? Content can be a make or break deal when deciding on if you show up or not, right? Because realistically, if you're gonna sit there and be a streamer, be a content creator, you know, you should probably do things that are on brand. And so there's kind of like, you could say there's like a checklist, right? The checklist for making content, right? Now, the reason that this is gonna seem a little bit weird, okay? You have to ask, there's a couple of things you're gonna need to ask yourself, right? I wonder what makes people show up for debut streams. I mean, no content's happening. I could actually explain that one in a second, Vish. So here's your checklist for making content. Ask yourself what you want to play. Ask what you think the viewer wants you to play. Then once you've asked that, you have to ask is what the viewer wanting on or off brand. Ask if it is on brand, does it match your personality, right? And the reason you ask these questions, okay? The reason this is so important to ask these 4 questions. Lena, I think it's been answered, Lena. I think it's been answered what's going on right now. So, here's the thing. You ask these questions, right? Because if you want to play it, but the viewers aren't interested, but it is on brand. Actually, I should say ask, is it on or off brand? But it is on brand. But does it, but it is on brand, but it doesn't match personality. So this right here is the problem, right? The solution to this one is going to be, don't play the game. Plain and simple, right? You don't play the game, right? And there's a reason. There's a reason. The stream should definitely play what they want to play as if they're happy. Yeah, I mean, that is true. Yoru means war, Vexa means, I mean, not quite, but sure. The solution is don't play the game, right? Because the thing is, right, like, dude, let me put it like this, right? Let's say Yoru wants to play Minecraft, right? But Minecraft isn't on brand. Minecraft doesn't match personality. Minecraft is a give or take with her viewers, right? Hello there, cutie. How you doing? Welcome back to the pack. I hope the missions have been going well. So, like, when you think about that, the solution, right, is that Minecraft will perform poorly because Yoru's personality and branding directly contrasts the expectations of the audience
Yoru's been
and
yapping for hours.
brand.
Someone hit the mute button. We need a chaos intervention.
Oh, shut the fuck up, Satan. Really? Come on, bro. People are interested in this, aren't they? But yeah, basically, this is what the main point is here, is that if Minecraft will perform poorly because of the personality, the branding, and it directly contrasts the expectations of the audience, right? Then people won't show up. Result is people don't show up, right? And to help explain this a little bit more is the whole thing, right? This is the define. So let's define Yoru. YoruVexa definition as a brand, right? You expect chaotic, energetic, loud, action oriented, right? Thank you for that hydrate, Lena. Oh, egos. It just means I get all close and personal and tell you I'm your mommy. So why don't you bark like a dog for mommy? You yapping, playing games, or just sit there. I'm still gonna bully. I know, Saded. Back the fuck up, make me, bitch. And also, Kitty, you're such a good girl. So you can define YoruVexa as a brand that's chaotic, energetic, loud, action-oriented, ADHD personified. Basically, right? And so, because you have that definition of YoruVexa as a brand, right? You're probably going to expect out of her, right? Also, yeah, you also have tomboy, confident, dommy, mommy vibes, right? This is the basic definition of YoruVexa as a brand, right? And so what that would mean is that now, did make it into mommy stream spicy time? Oh my god. So now YoruVexa expectations, right? Specifically, audience expectation, right? And grandma, I mean, yes, that is also true. There is also okay, there you go. So basically, with the audience expectation, because this is the next part, right? Is that with that definition as a brand, there's a certain expectation for when you come to a stream. You expect a stream. You expect a energetic vibe. You expect, not only do you expect that, you expect things to be fast-paced. You expect a flow to the content, right? You expect a flow. You also expect, you basically expect things to not chill too much, right? There's also an expectation to be personality driven, okay? And that expectation also means that when you're doing things, you're probably expecting anti-grind games, right? And so as a result, that audience expectation there means that when it comes down to what happens, what is actually, done, that means that if in any event, right, that I decide to, basically, if Yoru goes against the brand or expectations, And I need to drag this over real quick. Basically, if Yoru goes against brand or expectations, then the audience may be displaced. Actually, no, displaced isn't the right word, right? The audience may be turned off and leave because expectations are broken, right? Because when you come into a stream, you're expecting a certain kind of vibe. You're expecting a certain level of energy, a certain level of chaos, a certain level of things, a certain flow to things. And when that doesn't happen, it goes crazy. It goes awry. Oh, shut up, Lena. I used to do this all the time, right? Get the fuck out of my recommended. Wow, Neko. You know, Neko, I would get out of my recommended, but I guess for you, it just shows that you really do like tomboys that can peg you in the bedroom. So maybe you should stop fighting and bend over already, bro. But yeah, no, that's the thing, right? That's... Nuh-uh. Yeah-huh. Yeah-huh. What you gonna do to prove it, huh? You decided to show up, which means obviously you like what you see. So, why'd you show up if you like what you see, huh? But no, basically, this all has a huge effect on things, right? That's why, you know, all of this comes back to one very important thing, right? The important thing, as we circle back to the way the Twitch algorithm works, effectively what that means, right? I mean, I know I haven't done this in a while, but it feels kind of good to do it, you know? So what this all means to, you know, to combine this all together, right? What it means is that if things trend with your audience and your audience is... So, okay, no. Basically what this means is that Twitch is very data focused with its algorithm. And because of that, that means 1 or 2 bad streams has drastic impacts on future performance, right? What do you think I'm doing right now, okay? Here, Satan, look. Let me just make this better. TLDR. Twitch is very data focused with its algorithm. 1 or 2 bad streams has drastic impacts on future performance. Audience behavior can have a direct impact on performance, whether intended or not. And so what that also means, you know, that's right, that's just what it means. And so as a result, if Twitch is data focused with its algorithm, if 1 or 2 bad streams can have drastic impacts on future performance, if audience behavior can have a direct impact on the performance, whether it's intended or not, what that also means is that if how you are on stream has an impact if your going against expectations, that has an impact. If audience is more interested in a game than support, that has an impact, right? And so basically, Twitch's algorithm is unnecessarily punishing, right? That's basically the TLDR, right? So if a game everyone wants to play, it just came out, so basically, if a game everyone wants to play just came out, but if your audience isn't loyal enough to support and lurk, then it may be better to not stream on that day for sake of avoiding penalties within Twitch's systems, right? Because it can take longer than necessary to recover because of how harsh Twitch treats streamers, right? Because this is basically a TLDR. Would you guys agree? Okay, John Twitch, you know, okay, cool. But yeah, basically, chat, this is I think this is a pretty good way of giving a TLDR on the whole thing with the Twitch algorithm, because legitimately the way this all ends up working one way or another is that if you basically don't have an audience that's able to show up, and you know, I'm gonna put this in quotation marks here, the whole thing with loyal, right? Because, and I'm gonna put this right here, loyal doesn't mean it's mandatory to show up, but means that if there is a game to play, they may not show up, but it isn't for malicious or negative reasons, right? This is just, that's the thing, right? This is just mainly like, you know, if an audience doesn't show up because they're playing a game like Monster Hunter Wilds, that's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination, right? If you're so interject, why don't you play Pavlov? Because I'm not interested in playing Pavlov, okay? But the thing is, like, while loyalty doesn't mean you have to show up, it's not mandatory to show up, that an entire crapshoot that can be boosted through botting or something, yeah, no. No, let me put it like this, right? Let me put it like this, okay? I'm gonna show you guys something really interesting, okay? And when I say like, let me put it like this, okay? When you do content, like I need to actually pull up the relevant data for this real quick. So give me a second here to actually pull this up. All right, where is it? Analytics, discovery, right? So I'm gonna pull up this information here to give you an idea of how this actually does have an impact, right? Hang on. Let's see. So yeah, we are going to 2023. And I don't want January. I want December. All right. Now, this is actually really relevant to what I'm about to show here, okay? So, I'm going to show off a very specific data. This is data that I am pulling directly from my own streams, right? This is actual data. So this right here is from December of 2023. And then I'm going to pull up some data that's a little bit more recent in comparison, right? Okay. Now then. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take this right here. All right. December 2023 right here. Okay. Now then, the second graph that we have over here, the second set of data right here, this one right here is from January 2025, right? Okay. So, the reason that this is so important right now, and I'm going to make this bigger so you guys can actually read the data, right? So, here's the thing. The main thing, and we are going to also make sure that you guys can read what I'm doing here, okay? So, the main thing that's important when it comes down to discovery on Twitch is homepage recommendations and the browse page, right? These are the... Actually, hang on. Let me make sure that I do this correctly. Okay. Yeah, so basically, when you're going and you're getting discovered on Twitch, right? This right here, that box I just circled in red, is the actual important metrics for discovery. Homepage recommendations and browse page. When Twitch is actively pushing you in its algorithm, right? What that means is that you're gonna get a lot of discovery from like your homepage recommendations because it's actually pushing you. Now, in December 2023, I was doing retro games. I was doing Cyberpunk 2077, right? And that actually was really helping because I was maintaining a consistent branding during 2023. And so Twitch was recommending me, right? That's how that works. And that's why December went as... And, well, no, that was around the time that I stopped doing VR chat, Lena. But there was a reason why Twitch was pushing me so well. And that was because I was staying within the definition that Twitch had for me on stream. And so if we were to... I'm going to move this up a little bit. So what we're going to do here is what I'm going to show is I'm going to put this down here at the bottom. And let's get this going down here. There we go. So basically, when you follow Twitch's definition of you, when you're on brand, right? And then the counter example here, right, is January 2025, right? And again, we're looking at this specific data right here because this is Twitch actually pushing. And you can notice that it's a difference of 10% across the board for the most part, right? And so this is when you take a break, when you take a break / don't follow Twitch's definition, right? Of you. And when you're not on brand, right? And this is an unfortunate reality of how content creation as a whole works. This is why when you look at this stuff and you see that and I also should probably put over here as well, 30 day period. Yeah, I need to make sure that this is like, you know, understood here as a 30-day period. 30-day period. There we go. Because the whole thing is, right, is that when you're doing this properly, when you're streaming properly, right, and you're staying on brand, you're staying basically in your own lane, and you're doing your own thing, this is what you should expect to see, right here on the left with December. What you see over here is when you take a break and you don't do anything like events, when you're off brand, when you don't follow the definition, or you break that convention and everything. It's really stupid. And it just goes to show how Twitch's algorithm can treat you, how it can mistreat you, how it overall just does things incorrectly, right? And that's not anyone's fault per se. That's just how it goes. That's just how Twitch decides to be when you go against its systems. It's part of why Twitch, you know, advocates for you collabing. It's why Twitch advocates for you to use external sites for growth. That's just how it works, you know? And also, Vicious, if you're still there, to answer your question about debut streams and why it works so well, is because with debut streams, right? It's the fact that you're dealing with VTubing communities being very isolated and insular. That whole click-based thing I've talked about in the past, that's why VTubers, why debuts go well, because it's more about social politics and who you know. And so if you know who you know and you have those connections pushing you out there, then it's gonna help you with everyone, right? And if that helps you with everyone, then everyone's gonna be, you know, you're gonna grow, people are gonna show up. Doesn't matter if there's not really much content happening. It's the fact that you're getting socially supported. That's why debut streams work. It's stupid. I really wish it wasn't like that because there's no... Basically, let's put it like this. VTubers operate based off of social status and social proof and who you know, right? Whereas with IRL content creators, it's a lot more merit-based, where if you're doing something interesting, people will show up. If you're doing something that people want to see, they will show up because you have merit to what you're doing. What you're doing matters more than who you know when you're an IRL streamer. That's why VTubers end up being very isolated and everything. It's who you're connected to. It's how you're connected to those people. It's just how it works in general. And it freaking sucks. It absolutely freaking sucks the way that works. I wish it didn't work that way. I really didn't, you know? But that's why VTubing kind of seems toxic and why the personalities start blending together and everything. And it's very late as well. Okay, Cyber, please do take care. I hope I hope you avoid the Ides of March. And stay safe out there on your missions. But yeah, no, basically, that's just where the issue comes in. And it's like, if you don't follow the trend, it may hurt you, but it might hurt you more if you decide to, you know, do a trend and you're not, you know, on board with it. That's why I said I might actually consider doing Monster Hunter. It's really hard to, you know, do it. I might have to do something. So that's the thing. Considering the suggestion that I think it was Prom that made it at the beginning of stream to test it out during community night or a community night, I might have to do that. And so given the situation and the way everything is, I hope this has been very educational for you guys. Would you guys say this has been educational, that this has been interesting and informative for you, chat? Because, yeah? Because I might actually, I'll probably save those images, all that text and everything, and put it in places and everything. But considering how today is, absolutely, Chrome. I'm so glad to hear that, Chrome Knuckles. I'm so happy to hear that it's been informative. I do want to do more stuff like this, where I do talk about this kind of stuff, where I do share this kind of information with people, and I'm just authentic. And, you know, Sadie, I saw you make that whole comment, right, about the thing with reacting to idiots in cars on Sunday. And let me tell you right now, Sainted, I think I'd stick to YouTube if I made stuff. That's fair, and honestly, fair. Here's the thing, Sainted. That whole thing, maybe I'll try reacting like Asmongold does. I don't know. Maybe I should be a little more unfiltered. Maybe I should be a little bit more unhinged. Who's gonna stop me if I'm already an outcast with VTubers because they don't like the fact that I'm outspoken and, you know, disrupting the flow of the hoity-toity, let's be all nice and everything and have toxic positivity. I might as well go all the way out there.